Chapter 1. My assistant's efficiency has always been top-notch. The moment I noticed something amiss, a complete dossier was placed on my desk. The guy is handsome. No wonder Isabella was smitten. The girl standing next to him is pretty, too. Bring this girl to me. I'll sponsor her as well. Soon, the girl appeared before me. Elena Vance. Beautiful even without makeup, her photos alone would be enough to break into the entertainment industry. Those expressive eyes were enough to charm any man and make any woman jealous. But her current situation was dire. She looked exhausted and haggard. I understood immediately. I knew the kind of trouble she was facing. Elena's parents were deceased, and her family was poor. She only had her grandmother, who had just been diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and was lying in a hospital bed. Excellent in both academics and conduct since childhood, she worked part-time to support her family and had entered Kingston University with outstanding grades. Everyone who knew her praised her beauty, kindness, and intelligence. She was the perfect child, the kind every parent wished for. The college boy was named Liam Carter. He was her neighbor and something of a childhood friend. Men find their possessiveness hard to hide. I could see clearly that he liked Elena Vance. No wonder Isabella was so furious. Chapter 2. Isabella Sterling is usually a calm and calculating person. I've never seen her lose her composure. But recently, her expressions have frequently betrayed her inner thoughts, and her emotional control has been poor. Yesterday, before I even entered her office, I heard her on the phone. Her voice was indifferent as she admonished, almost warning him. Liam, you know my position. If you don't want trouble, keep your distance from your classmates. There are some things I don't like. Her usually calm voice was laced with burning jealousy. My hand, raised to knock, paused in midair. I had intended to invite her to dinner, but suddenly, I lost interest. Her attitude towards me has become perfunctory over the years. Superficial. She still cares about me, but the pretense is obvious, a purely professional demeanor with no real interest in what I do. But she's always been like this with everyone, so I didn't pay much attention until the news of her sponsoring a university student reached my ears. Isabella isn't a compassionate person, she's selfish, even. Yet she bought Liam a luxurious villa, took him on trips, and was even preparing to send him abroad for studies, sparing no expense. Now it seems she's quite jealous. Everyone jokes that she's fallen in love. When I found out, I was unhappy, wanting to completely sever ties with Isabella. After all, I've been clinging to this for years, perhaps it's time to let go. My assistant frowned at me. Mr. Thorne, about Miss Vance, sponsoring that student. He was originally my father's assistant, but due to his age, my father didn't want him to worry too much, so he volunteered to become mine. He's more like an elder than an assistant, loyal and capable. His expression was calm, but I knew he was offering to take care of the matter for me. I waved my hand dismissively, interrupting him. Let's go. There's no need. We're all civilized people, no need for a messy scene. I'm too lazy to expose her. She deliberately hid it from me. What good would finding the truth do? Throw the evidence at her and force a confession of infidelity? Or try to salvage things? I know the outcome. If I take action, she will definitely apologize to me. The Thorne family is a towering oak, but the heir of the Thorne family is a cripple who can't stand. Plenty of people have their eyes on me. To put it bluntly, even if I remain impotent for life, there are countless women eager to marry me because I can bring them endless benefits. I'm the marriage partner their families crave. Even if they're unwilling, they will do everything to maintain this relationship. Like in the past, when I would have mood swings and lash out at Isabella, she would remain gentle, unmoved by my insults. Then, after my anger subsided, she would offer an expensive gift, admitting it was her fault. Those gifts were chosen by her assistant, sometimes a watch, sometimes a tie. Never cheap, but never truly thoughtful. Usually, I wouldn't stay angry at her for long. Everyone says I'm deeply in love with Isabella. I never denied it because I used to believe it myself. Now, the thought of Isabella possibly being tainted makes me sick. Disgusted. I've never felt this way before. My reflection in the corridor glass was calm. I stared at myself for a moment. Seeing that I remained silent, my assistant pushed my wheelchair and took me away. Chapter 3. 3 years ago, I was in a car accident, and now I rely on a wheelchair. I'm not paralyzed, but my legs can't support me for long periods. I'm still in recovery. When she saw me in the wheelchair, Elena Vance didn't avert her gaze like others, full of covert pity and disdain. She merely glanced at my legs before lowering her head, her expression obedient. My assistant informed her of my offer to support her with generous terms. As long as she met my requirements, her grandmother's medical expenses wouldn't be a problem. Everything had a price tag. She was smart enough to know there's no such thing as a free lunch. My assistant, Arthur, always efficient, simply smiled at her apprehension. These are my employer's wishes. Discuss the details yourselves. I remained silent. Although I knew Arthur meant well, I preferred such arrangements weren't so blatant. I was confident Elena wouldn't refuse. She was desperate. While Isabella wouldn't target her directly, a single look was enough for her sycophants to act. For example, ruining Elena's hard-won job, leaving her with no options. For example, ensuring her grandmother's treatment was delayed, leaving her facing insurmountable medical bills and tears. They might even spread rumors about her being kept by someone, scaring off any potential suitors. Elena was cornered with no room to refuse. She didn't even know what she had done wrong or who to plead with regarding this charitable offer. She neither refused nor agreed. Only after my assistant left and we were alone in the office did Elena look up at me, her eyes clear. "Mr. Thorne, what do I need to do?" My leg was uncomfortable, and I shifted, grunting. After a moment, she was perceptive, noticing my discomfort. After a hesitation, she poured me a glass of water. Her fingers were beautiful, like works of art. I studied her. Bathed in sunlight, Elena Vance resembled a flower bud about to bloom. I was satisfied. She was beautiful, even more so than Isabella. As for what she needed to do, I hadn't fully decided yet. Chapter 4. The Thorne family's influence is vast. Anything Isabella thought she'd hidden well, a snap of my fingers would reveal. It's just that I never paid attention before, didn't want to. My world used to revolve around Isabella. I spoiled her as long as she stayed by my side and kept me happy. But this time is different. Suddenly, I'm no longer interested in her. I feel distant. A tainted woman isn't fit to be the matriarch of the Thorne dynasty. The wife of the heir can be a vase, purely decorative, but she must be obedient. Behind my back, she wants to play a nurturing game. Does she think because I'm crippled she can find some sunny boy to dote on? And it seems she's quite enjoying it. Fine. I'll see how fun this game is. A nurturing game, I said, looking seriously at Elena Vance, slowly explaining. I want to try it. I'll give you resources and see how far you can grow. Elena froze. She understood the meaning but not entirely, a bewildered expression on her face. Chuckling softly, I put it more bluntly. From now on, I'll take care of you. Whether you become a kept woman or something else is up to you. She has no other options now. Being my kept woman might be a good choice. Elena was silent, then her cheeks flushed a little. Embarrassed, a little awkward, unsure what to say. I knew my words were too blunt, too frivolous. But so what? For a woman, especially a virtuous one, it must feel humiliating. Perhaps it was the pressure of life, but as she looked at me, her eyes were still clear, only now with a hint of resignation. The initial aloofness gone, she gently crouched in front of me, carefully readjusting the blanket that had slipped, tucking it around my legs. This reaction, honestly, exceeded my expectations. "Mr. Thorne," she hesitated, her head lowered. "Will you tell anyone about this?" Chapter 5. Honestly, it took me a while to understand what she meant. I initially thought she was worried about others finding out, but the truth made me laugh. She was afraid that the Thorne family status was too high and would cause trouble for me, that's why she felt I needed to inform my parents. I laughed, feeling happy. This girl is interesting. Clearly, she's the one who could get hurt, yet she wasn't thinking about herself, nor was she afraid of me. She even thoughtfully considered things from my perspective. Is she getting into character this quickly? I've seen the way Liam Carter looks at Isabella, adoration, respect, and even a bit of flattery. Their relationship is a typical gold digger scenario, and Isabella is quite proud of it. But Elena looks at me like I'm a disobedient little brother, even though I'm much older than her. Is she mocking my current inability? I got angry and unconsciously pushed her to the ground. It wasn't hard, but I almost fell myself. Since the accident, I've been prone to these outbursts. Every time, Isabella just lowers her head and stays silent until my anger subsides. Others avoid me altogether. But Elena didn't flinch. She just looked at me with that same gentle expression. She didn't even check if she was hurt or care that her white dress was stained by the dirt on the floor. I froze for a few seconds. This feeling was strange. I'm the one keeping you. I can make my own decisions. Remember, you need to be obedient and available whenever I call. She remained silent, not asking any questions or making any demands. She gently stood up and steadied my wheelchair. Okay, I understand. She looked directly into my eyes. I felt like she was pitying me, but I couldn't prove it. After she left, I called Arthur. Have the studio make some clothes for her and send them over in my name. I regained my composure, my gaze fixed on the blanket she had carefully placed over me. The Thorn Group owns a dedicated fashion design studio. The designs come from Paris and are highly sought after by the city's elite, especially the top-tier custom pieces which have a waiting list. My assistant instinctively asked, for Miss Sterling. My mind hadn't caught up, still thinking about Elena's soiled dress. Why didn't that girl dodge? Even Isabella wouldn't just stand there and take it. Arthur looked at me knowingly and smoothly corrected his earlier mistake. Understood. For Miss Vance. Chapter 6. Now I understand the fun of playing simulation games, and I gradually understand Isabella's joy. When I met Elena Vance again, she had clearly made preparations. She wore her best clothes, very clean, but visibly worn out. Her shoes were the same. Her entire outfit wouldn't cost more than $40. She wouldn't wear the clothes I gave her. She ate very little, obviously trying to save money, and hadn't touched the funds I provided. I couldn't stand it, so I had the housekeeper prepare meals and send them to her. In just a month, the little girl was no longer gaunt and thin and looked a bit more filled out. That's right, slightly softer girls are prettier. Those skinny as bamboo poles are bony to the touch. Besides schoolwork, she looked after her grandmother every day and also worked part-time. It was hard work, so I arranged a private ward and hired a dedicated caregiver. Elena didn't refuse any of this and thanked me sincerely. She recorded every expense in her little notebook. Mr. Thorne, I will pay you back. I didn't say yes or no to this. I don't want money. Since this is supporting her, it also concerns my reputation. The Thorne family doesn't support freeloaders. I hope you can achieve something. Tell me if you need anything. She was stunned, seemingly not expecting this request, but still calmly nodded. Okay, I understand. Then she carefully looked at me, asking what I liked. It seemed like she wanted to prepare a gift for me. There was really no need. What could she afford? One pair of my shoes costs more than she earns in a year of part-time work. But looking at those pure eyes, my heart softened. She was already a natural beauty, and now dressed up by me, she was even more beautiful. This is probably the fun of the nurturing game. No wonder Isabella liked it, it truly was joyful. In the end, I couldn't bear to refuse the little girl's kindness. Flowers and plants. But I don't have time to care for them, so you'll have to manage them. Elena nodded and actually smiled, not the faint kind, but a truly happy smile. Then she really gave me a small succulent. It wasn't expensive, but it was clearly carefully tended. She really was different from Isabella. I often gave Isabella gifts, and she would only thank me with a fake smile, then she'd reciprocate with a perfunctory gift. Very formulated. I didn't care before because it had always been like that, but now I know that the difference between a heartfelt gift and a perfunctory one is very obvious. It has nothing to do with value, but it truly makes me happy. So the recipient of my gifts changed from Isabella to Elena. She gave me more and more flowers and plants, so I even had someone build a greenhouse. When she's free, she'll be in there tending to them very diligently. Chapter 7. It wasn't until Isabella contacted me that I remembered I hadn't thought about her in a long time. I had initially intended to play a game of cat and mouse, but Elena was too captivating, causing me to completely forget about it. I'd even forgotten she was my fiancée, forgotten that I still had a score to settle with her. However, I kept Elena a secret, just as Isabella had kept Liam a secret from me. I felt it was fair. The only difference was she couldn't keep her secret, but I could. Isabella only knew that someone powerful was protecting Elena Vance. Those who tried to curry favor with her were rebuffed and could only avoid the girl with a mysterious reverence. She was anxious, wanting to know who it was. When I saw her, I felt a moment of disorientation. Then I became indifferent, even a little disdainful. It seemed that after letting go, she was just there. She was indeed beautiful, but not as beautiful as Elena, nor was she as patient with me. She looked at me ingratiatingly. "Julian, there's been a lot going on at the company recently. I've been neglecting you. Don't be upset. I've made a restaurant reservation, let's have a nice dinner tonight." I had already made plans with Elena tonight. The little thing said she learned a few new dishes and wanted to cook them for me. I had agreed. Just as I was about to refuse, Isabella changed the subject. "By the way, there's a contract recently. Could you get Thorn Enterprises to sign it with me? The company's performance hasn't been very good lately, and I want to boost my numbers." That was the Isabella Sterling I knew. Every contribution must have a return. But that was in the past. Thorn Enterprises hadn't given her any preferential treatment for a long time. These matters were handled by my assistant. I didn't need to worry about them. I gave her a strange look. "Go talk to my older brother about it. You know he's always been the one managing the family business." I wanted to laugh. "Go ahead and try." Thorn Enterprises' current anger had nowhere to go. The only reason they hadn't acted was because of my ambiguous attitude. And I, in turn, wanted to use this opportunity to let the little thing practice her skills. Without my intervention, Thorn Enterprises wouldn't touch the Sterling family. Isabella fell silent. She probably hadn't expected me to say that. A hint of impatience flickered in her eyes. "Julian, don't be ridiculous. I'm doing this for our future. You don't want people to say the fiancé of the Thorn heir is useless, do you?" Yes, I probably spoiled her too much, to the point where she couldn't recognize her own uselessness. I watched her with amusement. "My older brother is currently abroad and very busy. I'll discuss it with him when he returns." It was only then that she seemed to realize something was off with me. She looked at me, hesitating. After a few seconds, she adopted a gentle tone. "Julian, are you angry because I haven't been taking care of you lately?" I looked her up and down with a half-smile. The more I looked, the more I felt that age was a killer for women. Youth was truly precious. Isabella's phone buzzed. She panicked, wanting to avoid my gaze but didn't dare. She lowered her head and quickly glanced at the message on her phone. It was from Liam, wasn't it? I wasn't interested in peeking, but we were too close. It was a photo with a caption, "Sister, we went to the venture capital firm for an internship today. We can gain a lot of experience which will be helpful to you in the future." The girl in the corner of the photo was familiar. It was Elena. Elena had told me about the internship. I had even helped her arrange it at Thorn Enterprises investment firm. Seeing her wearing the clothes I had given her, so obedient, it put me in a good mood. Isabella froze after just one glance. She no longer tried to hide it from me, enlarging the photo to examine it carefully. Finally, her gaze settled on Elena's outfit. It was Thorn Enterprises' private label. She had worn it for so many years, she wouldn't mistake it. Chapter 8. The air thickened, and several minutes passed. I was growing impatient when Isabella finally looked at me. A young lady raised in high society, how could she be a fool? The recent coldness, the mysterious backer behind Elena, everyone's fearful attitude, and the probing gazes, Isabella wasn't oblivious to them, but she had been inexplicably confident. Now, seeing Elena wearing haute couture she previously couldn't afford, her composure finally cracked. "Julian, you gave these to her, right? What's your relationship with her?" Isabella's eyes were red. She understood clearly what all this meant, and her words carried a hint of interrogation. Arthur frowned, wanting to step forward, but I stopped him. Why use a sledgehammer to crack a nut? I poured the water in my hand directly onto her head. She didn't dare to dodge, looking utterly pathetic. Taking the tissue offered by my assistant, I casually wiped my hands. What do you think you are? Have you forgotten your place? Who allowed you to speak to me like this? Isabella froze. She didn't expect my reaction to be so strong. I casually played with the wooden beads in my hand. They were Elena's, very cheap. She gave them to me because I like them. Isabella, listen. I haven't even settled a matter with you and that college student, so stay out of my business. She panicked as if her secret had been exposed, the anger on her face replaced by anxiety. Julian, you know. I didn't tell you about supporting Liam because I was afraid you'd overthink it. I gave a low laugh. Are you done? If you are, you can leave. She took a deep breath, forcing herself to calm down, and squeezed out what she thought was a gentle smile. Liam is just a kid, a good student. I just wanted to cultivate some new talent for the Sterling family. I'm your fiancé. I'll be wholeheartedly devoted to you, and I'll be faithful to our marriage. You have to trust me. I didn't speak, just watched her with amusement. I had been in a good mood today, completely ruined by her. It's probably been a while since I lost my temper, making her forget who she is. Or maybe she thought that because the Thorne family's young master is disabled, she could bully him at will. I was growing impatient. Isabella, what do you think you are? Isabella was stunned. She had never thought I would insult her like this, and for a moment she didn't know what to say. I continued to humiliate her, giving her no face at all. Do you even understand your position? And you expect me to trust you after all the crap you've pulled? Your Sterling family has great upbringing. So annoying. I already have a bad temper, and naturally, I wouldn't spare her any face now. Before, I still gave her some respect, after all, she was my fiancée. I couldn't be too disrespectful. But now I've decided I don't want her anymore. I looked away from Isabella and spoke indifferently to Arthur. Let's go to the greenhouse. The plants need watering. Just as I was leaving, Isabella, drenched and disheveled, chased after me. Julian. Are you jealous? You're just deliberately retaliating against me. That's why you're entangled with that girl. I investigated her. She's just a gold digger, a woman from some backwater village. Besides a pretty face, all she thinks about is climbing into men's beds. Before she could finish, Arthur interrupted her. Miss Sterling, please watch your words. You have no right to interfere with Mr. Thorne's actions. Isabella immediately stopped. She was very afraid of Arthur and didn't dare say another word, just looked at me with hopeful eyes, wanting me to say something to her. Arthur is a veteran who has served my father for many years and holds a high position, highly respected within the Thorne family. Let alone an Isabella, even the head of the Sterling family would be respectful towards him. It seems I've been too good to Isabella. She respects my butler but has lost all respect for me. After entering the greenhouse, I watered the plants while speaking to Arthur. I remember the Sterling family recently took on a few projects. Let Elena practice. Let her decide how to handle them. You are only responsible for the safety of the funds. Set a performance target. Let's say, 3 small targets as a lesson. Yes. A loss of 300 million. The head of the Sterling family would definitely know it was Isabella's fault. They would give me a satisfactory answer. It's better to let them discipline their own daughter. The Thorne family doesn't meddle in other people's affairs. Arthur looked pleased. Young master has grown up. It seems Miss Vance is very important to you. I didn't confirm or deny it. Even my eldest brother, who is overseas, called to praise me after he heard about it. That girl actually dared to treat you like that. She needs a good lesson. But little brother, why would you hurt your childhood sweetheart for a little gold digger? Have you fallen for her? After all, once Thorne Enterprises makes a move, the Sterling family will lose a lot of face. I chuckled lightly. Nothing, big brother. She just called her a gold digger and said she wanted to climb into men's beds. As for Elena, let her practice and see if she's qualified to enter the Thorne family. My brother fell silent. He knew about Elena Vance. He thought I was just playing around, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Well, I'll be back in a while. We'll talk then. I didn't explain further. Chapter 9. I bought Elena an apartment near the school. She only goes there when I call her or occasionally if I work late, but she always asks for my permission beforehand. I found it a bit odd. I gave you the apartment, it's yours now. Why do you always ask? Elena shook her head. It's your apartment, and I'm afraid I'll disturb you if you're there. It wouldn't be polite. I didn't bother correcting her. Her voice is pleasant, and I like it, so I didn't press the issue. The apartment is cleaned daily, but practically no one stays overnight. Apart from the obvious signs of use in the kitchen, the rest of the place is spotless. I once complimented Elena on her cooking, so she often cooks for me. Watching her cook, I smiled, afraid I'd be bored waiting. Elena washed some fruit for me. It was sweet, perhaps enhanced by the beauty who served it. My good mood, disrupted by Isabella, returned. Elena, come here. She wiped her hands and sat gently beside me. Are you hungry, Julian? It'll be ready soon. I gently handed her a piece of the fruit she had cut. She instinctively took a bite. I could see a blush rise on her cheeks, her eyes filled with a smile. Thank you, sir. She seemed completely unaware of how alluring she looked. Naturally, I wouldn't tell her. I simply claimed a kiss as a thank you. When she went back to the kitchen, I enjoyed the fruit while admiring her figure. So sweet. Dinner was simple but delicious. I enjoyed it. Julian, could you give me an account number? Elena asked cautiously, meeting my curious gaze. She fidgeted. I earned some money for my internship, and I want you to keep it for me. I pinched her cheek, amused. Do you think I need money? Elena obligingly filled a bowl of soup for me. No, it's just that I owe you so much already. I don't want to burden you. She knew what to say. The slight annoyance I felt vanished instantly, soothed by her gentle tone. After a moment's thought, I gave her an account number. I'll let her manage it herself later. She started to learn about these things now, and with the Thorne family overseeing it, nothing will go wrong. In any case, the little girl needs money, it wouldn't do for her to be tricked away by someone with a lollipop. Elena kissed me. Thank you, Julian. I don't lack money, and I'm generous. Isabella used to hint at requests whenever she kept me happy, and I never hesitated to oblige. But Elena is different. She never asks for anything. She only accepts what I give, which pleases me. This is the gold digger Isabella spoke of. Someone who wouldn't take advantage of countless opportunities to get rich. I even have to consider her future for her. Don't work anymore. There's no shortage of money. She nodded. I'll listen to you. I should be getting a scholarship at the end of the year. Please keep that for me too. I took a sip of soup and didn't object. I give her $30,000 a month for living expenses, which she never touches. I'll just manage and invest it all together. After dinner, I gave Elena a card. This time it was an internal card for the Thorne Group. Many businesses under my family's name accept this card, the shopping mall opposite her school and the hotel at the entrance, for example. Everything inside is free with this card. Girls often buy things, so this will be convenient. She was stunned. Julian. I can't remember when she stopped calling me Mr. Thorne or CEO and started calling me Julian. Elena's voice was still soft. You're too good to me. It makes me. She thought for a moment before finally uttering a word. Overwhelmed. I smiled faintly. Isn't a gentle girl like you meant to be pampered? She gently knelt down and massaged my legs. This used to be the doctor's responsibility, but she learned diligently. Isabella never would, she only offered superficial concern. Julian, please don't be so good to me. I'm afraid I won't be able to adapt later. I gently stroked her hair. That won't happen. I will pamper you for a lifetime. I have the means to make the girl I cherish happy for life. Remember, you're mine. Chapter 10. When the Sterling family came to apologize, I was strolling through Kingston University. My legs have recovered a lot since the accident. Although I can't walk like a normal person yet, basic movement isn't a problem as long as I don't overdo it. This visit was a spur-of-the-moment decision. Elena had her final exams, and I wanted to see how she was doing. Of course, I also wanted to surprise her. I'd done the same for Isabella before, but instead of surprise, I only ever got awkwardness and strained silence. They are different. I couldn't help but imagine Elena's expression. The more I thought about it, the happier I became, a smile playing on my lips. I hadn't smiled much since the accident, but Elena had brought more smiles to my face. Many students on the tree-lined paths of Kingston University looked at us curiously, a young man in a wheelchair accompanied by the head of the Sterling family, who was profusely apologizing. "Mr. Thorne, I've already punished Isabella. Are you satisfied?" I nodded, not really in the mood to listen. She was just a woman. Let it go. Remember this lesson, or next time it won't be so easy. Then I waved them away. Elena had handled the matter well, exceeding my expectations. A whole $4 billion. The Sterling family suffered heavy losses, while the Thorne family profited considerably. As a reward, Thorne Investment Group awarded Elena a $5 million bonus. She didn't seem interested in it at all and only accepted it after I had someone deposit it into her account. As for the Sterling family, they had to put on a smiling face and offered gifts worth over $10 million as an apology. But right now, I didn't want to be bothered by insignificant people while I looked for Elena. My assistant pushed me as I strolled around. "Sir, do you want to rest for a while?" I shook my head and asked a different question. Should the little girl continue her studies or start working after graduation? Give me your opinion. Arthur didn't call Elena little girl like I did. He always called her Miss Vance, explaining that since she would eventually be mine, the title was appropriate. Miss Vance majored in finance, so further education would be better for her development. However, her path is ultimately for you to decide, sir. If you want to arrange a job for her, the Thorne Group is a good fit. Everyone was very impressed with her performance in this recent matter. I thought about it and decided it was best for her to choose her own path. Yes, I'll ask her. Let her choose. Arthur seemed surprised but quickly regained his composure. Let's go. It's almost time. Let's find her. Before we reached the teaching building, we saw a familiar figure running out. Sir, it's Miss Vance. I nodded. It seems she finished her exam early. Let's follow her and see where she's going. It was a little game of mine. My assistant naturally wouldn't object and pushed me closer. Elena went straight out of the school gate and towards a small alley. It seemed rather secluded. My assistant saw my confusion. There's a flower shop there. Miss Vance has been working part-time there. After you told her not to work anymore, she started volunteering there. The flowers she sends you were her payment. A flower shop. All the flowers she gave me were earned through a part-time job at the flower shop. Before I could fully process this, I heard someone call her name. Elena. A woman, not particularly beautiful, came out of the alley, and the two walked inside chatting and laughing. I watched Elena. She was happy, a gentle smile gracing her face. The warm sunlight bathed her profile, making her look beautiful. I froze. I knew she was always busy. I only asked her to send me flowers and plants so she wouldn't feel too pressured. How did she manage to get so many of them? I never questioned it before. But she never told me any of this. Did she think I wasn't worthy of a few more words? Or did she treat everyone the way she treated me? The thought soured my mood. Let's go. Don't let her see us. Chapter 11. Sir, your parents and your elder brother will all be back for your birthday banquet this year. I wanted to ask if you have any requests, Arthur asked cautiously on the way. As the most doted upon young master of the Thorne family, my birthday banquet is always a grand affair. After all, a significant number of business deals are initiated at the banquet every year, making it an event to be taken seriously. Especially after my car accident, the rumors and gossip haven't stopped. My parents and brother, fearing I'd dwell on it, have made this year's banquet even bigger, just to show everyone that the Thorne family's youngest son is still the most cherished. The Sterling family never misses the event. If Isabella attends as my partner, it would signify the continuation of our engagement and that the past is water under the bridge. Everyone understands this, which is one reason why my assistant is asking. However, my engagement with Isabella was established during the darkest period of my life. Initially, considering the Sterling family's understanding nature, I should have given them face. But I'm no longer interested in her. Well, Elena Vance is my partner. Everything else is up to you. My assistant hesitated. Sir, are you serious? Keeping a mistress like Elena wasn't an issue. I can afford countless Elenas. But her attending as my partner is a different matter entirely. It signifies Isabella's fall from grace and permanently brands Elena as mine. From then on, she will have no chance of escaping the Thorne family. She'll be completely labeled a kept woman. I didn't speak, just sat quietly in the greenhouse until light footsteps broke the silence. Elena saw me turn, her eyes full of smiles. Julian. I looked at the small succulent in her hand, fresh and vibrant, very cute. She carefully placed it in front of me, her voice cheerful. You said you liked it last time, Julian. I nodded and ruffled her hair. Good. From now on, you can only be this gentle with me. She froze, seeing the displeasure in my eyes, and quickly agreed. But I pulled her into my arms and kissed her enticing red lips. Elena's body stiffened. Although it wasn't our first kiss, this was the first time it had been so fierce. After a long while, we parted. Elena, my birthday banquet is in a while. Be my partner. She fell silent, and I could clearly feel her heart racing. Julian, I'm not worthy of you. I'll embarrass you. I frowned, dissatisfied with her attitude. No, you won't. No one dares to say anything. I wanted to offer more comfort but couldn't find the words. I think Elena is wonderful and shouldn't just be a canary I keep. I want her to be recognized by those in our circle. I want her to stand beside me with dignity. But looking into her eyes, I only managed to say, you will never embarrass me. It took a long time for her to speak, her head still lowered, her expression hidden. I'll do as you say, Julian. I wasn't satisfied with this answer. I tilted her head up. Are you unwilling? This action surprised even me. I never used to care about these things, but now I do care about what she thinks. There was a hint of grievance in her eyes. She bit her lip, her expression helpless. I'll do whatever you say, sir. I've said it before, everything I have is yours. Chapter 12. This answer isn't what I wanted. I've been thinking about it for days and still can't understand. She promised me, so why am I not happy? Isabella called me, her voice laced with a hint of flattery, trying to sound gentle. Julian, I miss you. Let's meet. I didn't refuse. I needed to vent, and she was a suitable target. I went straight to the address she gave me. Inside the cafe, Isabella had lost a lot of weight, the exhaustion on her face impossible to hide. I glanced at her and looked away. She wasn't as pretty as Elena. Isabella now realized her position was precarious. Her arrogance was gone, replaced by her previous subservience, even a hint of humility. She even tried to rekindle old memories. Julian, do you remember when we traveled in Northern Europe together that year? I shrugged. I don't remember. I've been all over the world with many people. Why should I remember one of the few trips she accompanied me on? Isabella's expression stiffened, and then she started rambling about the past. Before, I was treated like royalty. After all, the vast Thorne family only had 2 sons, both with inheritance rights. But after my car accident, the outside world speculated that my inheritance rights would be revoked. After all, how could a prominent family choose a cripple as their heir? The struggle for inheritance in a powerful family isn't a gentle breeze, its cruelty is comparable to empires of old. Gradually, those in the circle began to subtly distance themselves from me. At that time, the only one willing to visit me and tolerate my bad temper was Isabella. Her status in her family was low. The Sterling family wasn't particularly powerful, but it had a large number of members, with several older siblings above her. She was taking a gamble, and she won. Although I hadn't fully recovered after 3 years, I still had everything a Thorne family young master was entitled to, and my elder brother took good care of me. Our Thorne family is different from others. Since childhood, I've been lazy and never thought about inheritance rights. Not only did my elder brother recognize this, but my parents did too. The outside world simply didn't know. Even regarding marriage, although I wouldn't choose someone unsuitable, I definitely wouldn't choose a wife from an overly powerful family. Causing trouble for my brother would be causing trouble for myself. It was better for someone with a simple mind like me to remain a carefree young master. By the time everyone else felt I still had investment value, the only one left by my side was Isabella. In the beginning, she treated me cautiously until she gained many benefits, which dramatically elevated her status within the Sterling family. Gradually, perhaps because I was a cripple with only her around, she forgot where everything came from. I thought I loved her, and I was very tolerant of her. I even got engaged to her last year. The Sterling family was naturally satisfied. An insignificant daughter had won the favor of the Thorne family's heir. It was a good deal, everyone envied her. Although it was just an engagement, it brought countless benefits to Isabella. My elder brother didn't want to treat me unfairly and would intentionally give some projects to the Sterling family. That wealth made her forget who she was. Now, she probably remembered. Everything she had, she begged for bit by bit. I could give it, and naturally, I could take it back. Julian, I've been reflecting on myself recently. It must have been me neglecting you. If I had told you about nurturing new talent for the Sterling family beforehand, we wouldn't have had these unpleasant rise. I didn't speak, just took a sip of coffee. Sugar and milk. Sweet, cloying, terrible. Isabella continued talking to herself. We have so many years of feelings, it's just a misunderstanding. There's no need to make things so awkward. You know I only love you. I didn't even lift my eyelids. Actually, your choice wasn't wrong. The nurturing game is quite fun. Realizing what I was saying, Isabella's face turned pale, but she quickly adjusted her emotions, though the jealousy and malice in her eyes were impossible to hide. I didn't betray you. Really. I'm sincere to you. Besides, look at Elena, how good you are to her. But what about her? What did she do behind your back? This was her purpose, wasn't it? Following her pointed finger, I turned my head. Yes, it was someone I knew standing outside the cafe. Elena was talking with Liam Carter. I couldn't read lips, so I didn't know what they were talking about. Only suddenly, Liam reached out and hugged Elena. Julian, did you see that? They're meeting secretly. He's betraying you. Of course, I'm not interfering with your decision. If you want to keep a woman, I have no objection. I won't be jealous. Isabella's voice was full of eagerness and humility. I just smiled. Actually, I wanted to curse at her, but I thought it too vulgar. In the end, I just coldly spat out one word. Get out. Chapter 13. I needed to vent. Elena had been texting me for days, and I hadn't replied until today. Come here. My curt words reflected my inner turmoil. I knew Elena didn't actually like Liam. Though they grew up together, they were merely neighbors and friends, not childhood sweethearts. Today's incident was nothing romantic. After Liam hugged her, she immediately pushed him away. It was a reflexive reaction. The whole thing was insignificant, completely different from Isabella's sponsorship disguised as aid. Someone like Liam Carter wasn't worth my attention. As for Isabella, she was completely out of the question. She couldn't even control her scheming before becoming the Thorne family's young mistress. What would she be like later? Wouldn't she turn the world upside down? I'd never asked Elena about her and Liam. Arthur had investigated everything thoroughly, but today I was simply unhappy. I was angry that Isabella tried to manipulate me. Regardless, Elena was part of the scheme, and she would bear the consequences. So when Elena entered, my displeasure was written all over my face. She looked bewildered. Julian, what's wrong? Ignoring her hesitation, I threw her onto the bed. Only after I was done did I realize she was a virgin. Despite her discomfort, she gently draped my clothes over me. Is Julian in a bad mood today? I didn't speak. She frowned slightly, gently massaging my shoulders. If something's bothering you, you can tell me. Don't keep it bottled up inside. It's not good for you. I looked at her coldly. I saw you meet with Liam today. Her face registered shock, then she resumed her gentle demeanor. I'm sorry. Seeing her offer no explanation infuriated me further. Since you've apologized, tell me, what did you do wrong? I genuinely wanted to hear what she would say. She maintained her gentle composure. I should have informed you beforehand. Liam contacted me today. He said he had something to tell me, so I went. He explained later that it was the person sponsoring him who made the request, saying it would be best if something happened between us. I refused. I belong only to you, Julian. I'm sorry. I questioned her. Do you feel wronged? In the future, you must inform me before meeting him. Also, I invited you to be my companion at my birthday banquet. Why were you reluctant? Elena lowered her head, seemingly wanting to speak but holding back. I scoffed. What? Haven't I been good enough to you? She finally looked up, meeting my gaze directly. Julian, I'm just a simple woman. I don't want to be involved in the power struggles of the wealthy, nor am I capable of it. I'm sorry. If I attend your birthday banquet as your companion, what would my status be? A kept woman. Your fiancée will be there. What am I supposed to do? I wanted to comfort her, but she didn't give me the chance, stopping my hand midair as I reached out to caress her. Elena laughed, a desolate sound. I didn't say anything because you already know everything. You know every move I make, just like Liam's existence. You knew from the beginning, but you never asked. Your fiancé is the one sponsoring him. What would be the point of me saying anything? Would you break off the engagement or marry me? I'm just your canary, to be discarded when you're tired of me. Countless women want to marry you, heiresses are yours for the picking. And me? I'm already despicable enough staying by your side knowing you're engaged. Do you want me to be ridiculed for the rest of my life? Julian, please, leave me some dignity. I was stunned, caught off guard by her sudden outburst. You know about Isabella? I admitted she had a point. I did have her under surveillance. Elena's voice was firm, clearly still angry. Yes. I also know you chose me precisely because she's sponsoring Liam and I are neighbors. You did it on purpose. I embraced her, whispering comfort. Be good, don't be angry. I never said I didn't want you. I won't put you in a difficult position again. She looked up at me, her voice tinged with anger. Julian, we're in a kept relationship. I'm just your canary. Don't completely humiliate me, okay? I paused, my heart aching as I looked into her eyes. Gently holding her, I kissed her. Don't worry, you'll always be mine. Regarding Isabella, I'll break off the engagement. It has nothing to do with you. I haven't broken it off yet because my parents are abroad and I need their consent, I offered a gentle explanation. I didn't actually have anyone watching you. I did read your file initially, but today's incident was Isabella's scheme. The atmosphere was strange. I wouldn't normally explain myself this much, not even to Isabella. But with Elena, I found myself explaining, offering her unprecedented patience. I didn't choose you to get revenge on Isabella. I chose you because you're beautiful and have a good personality. And like I said, whether you're a canary or something else depends on your abilities. You did a good job last time. Keep up the good work. Elena, I've fallen for you. Elena looked at me, seemingly in disbelief, but her eyes regained their sparkle. She leaned in and kissed me. Chapter 14. The day my parents and older brother returned, my assistant wheeled me to the airport to pick them up. They were curious about Elena. As for Isabella, their stance was clear, I should handle it myself. This was the Thorne family's way of raising an heir, give you the backing and see what you do with it. I briefly explained recent events, then calmly stated, I'm breaking off the engagement with Isabella. I'll announce it on my birthday banquet. They nodded. Even though they were abroad, they were well informed. The Sterling family matter is yours to decide. However, they were more interested in Elena. In all these years, besides Isabella, Elena was the second woman by my side. Bring Elena over for us to meet. Whether she's qualified to be your partner isn't up to you. I nodded. I wasn't worried about this. I was confident they would be satisfied. However, there was something I had to ask, something I found strange. When I was engaged to Isabella, you didn't seem to care. Why the interest in Elena this time? My brother laughed. It's different. We never thought highly of Isabella from the start and never believed you'd end up together. She's too calculating. But we've never met Elena, and you've fallen for her. I touched my nose awkwardly. Was it that obvious? My mother gently stroked my head. We can all see that you like her, which means you're likely to fall deeply and not be able to get out. We have to make sure she won't hurt you. That evening, Elena appeared at our family villa. I barely managed to introduce her before I was sent away. I don't know what happened, but the outcome was very satisfactory. My mother even personally ordered a custom-made gown for her to wear to the birthday banquet. I pestered everyone about the conversation, but they all just smiled, including Elena. Fine, keep it a secret. Julian, do you really like me? What do you think? Anyway, I like you. As long as you don't dislike me, I'll always be here. Soon, we kissed. Chapter 15. The birthday banquet was approaching, and Isabella blocked my way. Julian. You invited me. You've forgiven me, right? I knew you couldn't bear to leave me. I completely stopped funding Liam. From now on, I'll ask for your opinion before making any decisions, okay? I chuckled a few times and stretched lazily. Isabella, I thought you had learned your lesson. Tears welled up in her eyes as she pleaded. I really know I was wrong. Liam did try to seduce me, but I swear I wasn't swayed. Nothing happened between us. Julian, you have to believe me. I'm still clean. Her demeanor was a far cry from the haughty Miss Sterling of the past. I believe you. But the look I gave her was a little strange. Some things you see aren't only known by the people involved, and it's not just what happens that counts. Isabella, some things, no matter how hard you try, will never belong to you. Isabella clearly understood, but not entirely. She thought I was just jealous and breathed a sigh of relief, continuing to play the emotional card. Julian, I've always loved you. It's just that people always said I had everything because of you, so I neglected you a little. I just wanted to stand proudly beside you. Now I don't care about that anymore. As long as you're still by my side, it doesn't matter what others think. I yawned, ready to end the conversation. They weren't wrong. Everything you have, isn't it all for me? Even the entire Sterling family is because of me. Isabella's expression stiffened slightly, but having been taught a lesson, she maintained some decorum. I know. I'll definitely work hard in the future, and I won't let anyone look down on you. I remained silent. Who would dare look down on me? Seeing my continued silence, she cautiously asked the question she cared about most. Will I be your date then? I don't even mind anymore. I was being unreasonable before. She put on a pitiful act. I couldn't be bothered to respond. With this kind of person, words were useless. Simply put, they didn't cherish what they had until they lost it. On the way home, I looked at Arthur and said, the Sterling family can't even control their own people. It seems Elena needs more practice. People in the circle probably guessed I intended to break off the engagement, but without that layer of pretense being ripped away, no one wanted to make things too awkward. The Sterling family clearly didn't want it, but they didn't dare to question me directly, so they could only leak my whereabouts to Isabella. Success belonged to the Sterling family, failure belonged to Isabella. A clever little scheme. It just so happens that the Thorne family's threshold is quite high, and it won't be easy for the little girl to marry in. It's not bad to have someone eager to offer themselves up as a stepping stone. Chapter 16. This year's birthday banquet was a grand affair. Everyone attached great importance to it, as it was the official announcement of the Thorne family's young master's return to the family business. Aside from Isabella's momentary loss of composure when I descended the stairs hand in hand with Elena, the event proceeded smoothly. After 3 years of rehabilitation, my leg has mostly recovered. As long as I avoid strenuous activity, I can now stand and walk for extended periods. Today, marking my return to the public eye, I decided to stand throughout the entire event. Gently adjusting Elena's dress, I affectionately ruffled her hair. "You look beautiful today." Her eyes crinkled with a sweet smile. She had completely transformed from a naive girl into almost a wealthy heiress. Blushing, she shyly kissed me. "I belong to you, Julian. Always." The proceedings went smoothly, and Elena handled herself gracefully. After all, etiquette is established by the upper class, and the Thorne family happens to be among those who set the rules. Regarding the engagement with the Sterling family, I simply made a brief announcement, which caused no surprise. This circle is pragmatic, everyone had already guessed. The only one who couldn't accept it was Isabella. Breaking free from her family's grasp, she rushed towards me. "Why? I'm the one who loves you the most. I'm your fiancée. What am I lacking compared to her? She's just a poor girl, unworthy of you." Security quickly pulled her away. "Julian. You love me. You were just joking, right?" I remained silent, preparing to leave. She wasn't worth my time or words. Seeing me turn away, Isabella suddenly knelt down. "I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I neglected your feelings. Please forgive me." I watched her theatrical performance like an outsider. However, letting this continue wouldn't do. It wasn't just the Sterling family's face that was being lost, but also the Thorne family's. I turned to Arthur. "Get her out of here. We won't be working with the Sterling family anymore." Upon hearing this, the Sterling family panicked and tried to plead with me. My older brother stepped forward, looking at them calmly. My younger brother's words represent the Thorne family's decision. At this, they finally gave up. The Sterling family's failure to raise their daughter properly, after repeated lessons, meant they needed a lesson they would remember for a lifetime. Chapter 17. Little brother, that Elena Vance is not bad. Are you sure you want to marry her? My older brother sat in his study, looking at me seriously. I nodded. Big brother, at first I just wanted to play around, but now I really like her. I was still a little apprehensive. The Thorne family's social standing was too high. My older brother remained silent and only spoke after a long while. All right. I'll give you 3 years. You can use the Thorne family's resources as you please. As for whether Elena can marry into our family, that depends on her abilities. We had a tacit understanding, neither of us mentioned how it was to be done. The Sterling family, since they were courting death, they could be Elena's stepping stone. 1 year. Just 1 year, and Elena, leading the Thorne family's team, completely crushed the Sterling family. Not only did the Thorne family profit greatly, but the Sterling family also completely changed its name to Vance. Now, Elena Vance was worth over 100 million and qualified to marry into the Thorne family. My parents and older brother were very satisfied with her. 2 months after Elena completely took over the business, I proposed to her. Over the past few years, our relationship had become more than just a kept woman and her benefactor. On the day of the proposal, I knelt on one knee and took out the ring I had prepared long ago. "Elena, marry me." The young woman blushed and happily extended her slender finger. A long time later, the young woman had grown into a powerful business tycoon, but the way she looked at me was still as pure as it was when she was 18. "Julian, why did you choose me back then?" I looked tenderly at her pregnant belly and murmured softly. "Silly girl. It's true that I found you beautiful. It's true that I wanted to spite Isabella. And it's also true that I fell in love with you. For the rest of our lives, let's walk together." Chapter 18. When I saw Isabella again, she was completely destitute. After Elena bankrupted the Sterling family, the Thorne family showed a sliver of mercy, sparing their lives. Though their fortune was gone, they blamed everything on Isabella and drove her out. Liam Carter also broke up with her. Their relationship had been transactional, and without money, he quickly found a new sponsor. With nowhere to go, Isabella, relying on her former status as the Sterling family's eldest daughter and her beautiful appearance, drifted between various cocktail parties, utterly reduced to a social butterfly.